Yandere bnha characters X todoroki yn. As Yn mentally prepared herself, her blue/gray eyes filled with determination. Maybe I can use my flames to make me fly forward and lay out a ice path slide kind of like the ice path show made. She nodded, huffing as she confirmed her plan. As the horns blurred, Yn took off in an ice path preparing in front of her, and her flames trailing behind her. By a long shot, number 26 finishes first. Yn squealed upon hearing her number being called. She came first place. "Great job," a girl's voice exclaimed, making the Todoroki girl nearly scream and jump back a bit. She turned to see a cute black-haired girl with dark eyes. "Oh, I'm sorry," she apologized, waving her hands. "I didn't mean to startle you." No problem," Yn said, shaking her hands as she took a breath of relief. "Generally a bit jumpy, that's all." Is all. A few seconds of awkward silence washed upon them. They avoided eye contact with each other. "But by the way," Yn said, a bit longer than she intended to, "I'm Todoroki Yn." "A pleasure to meet you, Todoroki," the girl said with a warm smile. "I'm Yayorozu Momo." I can't pronounce her last name, sorry. I mean, like, her name. Whatever. Anyways, but you can call me Momo. "As well, in that case, you can call me Yn," said, screeching in the back of her neck. Do you want to be my friend?" she asked, thankfully not as awkwardly as she did in Inatsa. "How I could no, yeah, I could give you my number if you want to." "It's fine if you don't." Momo couldn't help but quiet giggle. How adorable she thought before saying, "No need to worry, I would love to." "Great," Yn exclaimed, once again a bit louder than she intended to. She cleared her throat before repeating a bit quieter, "Great, I'll just write this down." Even though she saw her brother approach, the young Todoroki pulled out her other half of her sketchbook paper and the pen, began writing. Yn showed nearly spoke again. This is the second stranger you've tried to give your number to. You should really be more cautious. But Xiao, she's trying to be my friend, Yan pointed out, tapping her foot as she finished writing and looked up at her older brother. Xiao sighed, sketching Xiao groaned, sketching the paper, tearing it into pieces. He threw away the remains and grabbed Yan's arm, dragging her away. Come on, let's go. Yan groaned, but turned to Momo with somewhat of a cocky smile and began waving, saying, "Goodbye, Momo." Before they could get far, Momo noticed something in Yan's hand. It was ink. Yan had used the paper as a decoy and written her number on her hand. Insert number. Text when you can. Quickly memorizing the number, Momo entered it into her phone. The moment the Todorokis were out of sight, she couldn't help but chuckle. What a clever, cute girl. Finally, that's all done, Yan exclaimed, feeling relieved because A, they finally completed all the exams. B, there were no one else around the two Todorokis, meaning Yan would no longer had a reason to feel anxious. She could relax and see she made two friends. The two were nearing the exit of the building as Shoto spoke. You really shouldn't do that. Shouldn't do what? Yan questioned, tilting her head to the side. Talk to and give information to random strangers, Shoto answered. It could be risky. If I don't interact with people around me, how am I supposed to make friends? Yan asked. You and I both have been so isolated from everyone else. I just want to make some new friends I know I'm really shy and all, but I've started thinking that I've been clinging on to you a bit too much. Shoto stopped in his tracks. Right then and there, clinging too much? to him? No, that's ridiculous. He was all she needed. She was all he needed. End of story. He listened as she continued to voice her thoughts. I know how shy I am. I know I'm not the best at communicating with others. And that's really gonna mess up my career as a hero. And overall, I feel as though if we keep this up, we won't get far in the hero world. Lion looked up at her brother, taking his hand into hers. And I want you to do the same. I want to see you with friends too. I don't need friends. YN Sho insisted, squeezing her hand. What I need is for you to stay by my side so I can keep you safe. I can protect you. Don't you remember that day when Father snapped? I hated seeing you like that. I don't remember how. I promised to protect you. So, I appreciate your intentions. I really do, Ryan insisted, but you saw how I was able to gain more respect just by talking to him, which I remind you do as well, since you two don't seem to be getting along that well right now. Sho huffed, shaking his head for the last time. Ryan, good afternoon, listeners, a loud voice exclaimed, making the Todoroki girl yelp and jump back, clinging onto her brother upon realizing no one was there. The voice of President Mike. The girl let out a relief sigh, slowly realizing her brother, stop. From her grip too much on Shoto's disappointment, the two listened to President Mike go on about how amazing they voice hero go on about how amazing she and her brother were. Upon coming to this realization, Ryan stared up at the blonde with the big blue-gray eyes as he continued to ramble to the girl who yelped quietly, quietly opening her bag and taking out her sketchbook once again before reaching into her pocket to grab her pen. She knew that Endeavor wasn't happy and thought of his daughter being such a big fan of other heroes, let alone asking number one for an autograph. But she couldn't help it. One of her all-time favorite heroes was standing right in front of her. Going on about how great she and Sho were. When you are a pro, he finally stopped talking. Wyan nearly shoved her sketchbook and pen at him perfectly, yelling, "Can you please sign my sketchbook? I am a huge fan." All three of them went silent. The two males stared at the now red-faced girl, shocked as she realized what she had done. "Wyan, you absolute idiot," she mentally screamed. Her grip tightening around her sketchbook and pen. "Now one of your favorite heroes is gonna think you're a total weirdo, and you messed up big time. And now he probably thinks a fan." President Mike excitedly exclaimed, swiftly catching the sketchbook and the pen before flipping through the pages. "How could I say no to a kind listener like you?" Wyan stared at the man for a moment before taking a breath of relief, letting her heated face finally cool down as relief washed over her. "I thank God he didn't think I'm a weirdo." A chuckle snapped the girl out of her thoughts when President Mike turned an open page backwards turned backwards. The red, pink, white-haired girl faced immediately turned red again as she stared at some fan art she drew of President Mike. "Never mind that, he's totally gonna think I'm a weirdo," Wyan thought as she shattered out, listen, I'm just like I said, I'm a big fangirl. I just no need to show much shame, listener present Mike exclaimed, looking back at the drawing before signing his name in the corner, closing the book. Handing it back. You got quite the talent. Ryan stared up at the mail, slowly taking her book and pen back. As her book and pen back, she held it close to her chest, bowing her head. Thank you, Mr. President Mike. Anything for a loyal fan, President Mike exclaimed, finishing two finger guns. I think that's what it is. I think that's what it says. I'm not too sure. Sho was getting rather impatient, grabbed Ryan's hand and began walking off, saying, "We should get going." Father won't be pleased if we get home late. Ryan simply hummed and nodded before calling it out, "Bye, President Mike," over her shoulder, only to receive a rather loud goodbye in return. Ryan sighed, flopping onto her bed as she and Sho had gotten into an argument about strangers and how she shouldn't be opening up this much to people and to not trust anyone else who hasn't needed friends, blah 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 blah. It got to the point their father came in to check up on the noises, and it was the first time she had even seen her father and her big brother agree on something. Endeavor agreed that Ryan didn't need friends and not to trust anyone outside of the family. The red, pink, white-haired girl groaned into her pillow, and they acted like she was 5 years old, that wanted to make friends with some shady guys trying to offer her candy. She just wanted to interact with more people, with more kids her age. Sorry. The girl hummed as she heard her phone ding and light up. Lifting her head up from her pillow, the girl grabbed her phone and opened up her messages. Unknown number. "Hello, Ryan." Ryan started the text for a moment, then This was Ensenada. I can't read his name. Or this is Momo. Who is this? You know what? I'm just gonna identify this guy as the guy with the wind quirk, okay? Anyways, chuckling a bit, the pink-haired girl sent her friends one of her contacts before typing a response. By the way, I never got to congratulate you being first place in the exam. Don't worry about it, Ryan. You did amazing in the exam as well. Are you excited to attend UA? I know I am. Guy with the wind quirk stared at his screen for a second. Gosh. He was going to explain this to her. He didn't want to make her upset, but at the same time, he just couldn't lead her on with a lie. Only for her to walk into UA and not find him there. Actually, I'm not going to UA. When I quickly mumbled honesty, but disappointed. He seemed so excited to come first in place the exam. So why didn't he want to go to UA anymore? She was excited to have him as a classmate, though she had to respect his decision. That's fine. Where do you plan on going instead? Shiketsu High School. Not a bad choice. Not a bad choice at all. Ryan hummed and saw an unknown number text her. Sorry, guy with the wind quirk. I gotta go. Good night. Good night, Ryan. Ryan typed on the other to the unknown number. Ryan texted the unknown number. If the last person was guy with the wind quirk, then this must be Momo. She set the contact and read her message. Hello, Todoroki. Hi, Momo. Like I said, you can just call me YN. No need for the informalities. Well, if you insist, YN. You did amazing on the exam. Aw, thanks, Momo. You did really great, too. Are you excited for UA? YN, remember, we're not even we haven't got the confirmation if we'll get in or get in. Though I'm nearly certain, we're not even certain if we'll get in. Though I'm nearly certain you got in, judged by how well you did. Thanks, but I'm sure you got in too. Momo couldn't stop her face from turning pink. Wyan's thought Wyan thought she was strong and smart, and if anything, those words, all three of those words describe her. Momo, thank you so much, but if anything, that's not what you are. Momo, you're sweet. Wyan giggled at her small interaction, only to get yet another text from whoever this was, from someone that was more than a family member to her. Ayano. I can't pronounce her name, so I'm just gonna say Ayano. Where are you? You're late. Ryan froze before quickly checking the time. 9:07. She was right. She was late. She texted Ayano. I'm sorry. I got caught up with something else. I'll be there in a minute. Good. Ryan sighed before going to text Momo. She felt bad for lying, but what else was she gonna say? Sorry, I can't talk right now. I have to sneak out of my house to meet someone. Yeah, not happening. Sorry, Momo, I have to go to bed. No need to apologize, Ryan. Good night. Good night, Momo. Turning off her phone, checking it into her pocket. Ryan unlocked her bedroom window and climbed out, closing it behind her, but leaving it unlocked. The girl pulled a hoodie over her head as she began running off into the large city. The girl looked up, a small frown on her face. The city life was fine. She was certain, but she just didn't like how very few stars could be seen in the dark. So how to describe it? Magical, with small dots of light illumining it. She walked into an alleyway to see an all too familiar face man standing there, leaning against a wall. You're late, the man said, looking over at the girl. Yeah, you confirmed. That with me 5 minutes ago, Ryan pointed out, walking closer to the man. The male let out a chuckle, pushing himself off the wall before stretching his arms. All right, come here. Grinning, Ryan's blue/gray eyes light up as she walked towards the man, nearly tackling him in a hug. Earning a grunt from said male. Careful there, he said, patting her hand. Sorry, Ryan mumbled, gripping on to his jacket. It's just that home doesn't feel the same without you, Toya/Dobby. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and that was really, really long. And I'm sorry I can't find any Halloween specials, so you're just gonna have to stick with this one.